Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a get ready with me video today featuring some new launches that I have been testing out. You might have seen this look in some previous videos, so I thought I would show you the tutorial or the way that I achieved the look. So the products that I'm using today, I already started with my foundation. So I use the Burberry Luminizing Primer, and then the Sicily Fido Tente Clot, and did my eyebrows, did my eyeshadow primer, all that good stuff. So we are ready to go. I am using the new Laura Mercier Editorial Eye Palette, Intense Clays. So there's some matte colors and there's some shimmer colors in this. To be honest, I've used every single color in the palette with the exception of this like black sparkly one. I mean, I guess you could use it as a liner, but I love this powder for like a highlighter powder or even just kind of like all over finishing powder. It's beautiful. But what I'm going to be doing today is kind of like a mix of these two, this brown and this pink in the crease, and then this really shimmery kind of copper color on the lid. It's beautiful. You might have seen it in some of my other videos. I wore this combo. And the copper color for this is stunning. The color, I'm not typically like very like fan of like super orangey colors, but this shade really looks, it looks like a penny literally on your lid. And the shimmer is so smooth and even, not a lot of fallout with this palette. And so I just kind of like apply that all over the lid. You can see how shiny and beautiful it is. And then I go in with the two matte shades. And when I was playing with this palette though, I did the matte shades first, and I really didn't like them as much just on the lid. I like them more in the crease or accent colors. I really love this shade on all over the lid. So I just kind of pressing that, pulling it up into the crease, and then I'll take my fluffier blending brush and kind of blend that out with some of the matte shades. So really simple, just throw that on the lid, just use any kind of stiff eyeshadow brush, and then just take kind of a blending brush here. You know, the funny thing is, there's a lot of fallout in the palette, but not a lot on my eyes, which is kind of crazy. So I'm going to take a mixture of, I'm going to first start with the brown, that kind of brown matte shade, and just kind of windshield wiper back and forth in the lid or in the crease here. And I don't like to go too high up when I do a crease, but I mean, depending on, just because of my eye shape, I mean, I do want to obviously pull it up a little bit just to kind of give the eye like a lifted look, but I don't want to put it too high up on the brow bone because then it'll look like it's starting to get up to the brow bone. You don't want to pull it up too high. And like I said, just back and forth, windshield wiper motions. I haven't done a crease look in a while. Goodness. I love a good crease color though. It's such like a standard makeup technique, putting eyeshadow color in the crease and kind of creating that depth. And a lot of people feel that it's very kind of like 90s or a little bit older or more dated. I don't know. I still love a good like lid color, crease color, a little bit of a, you know, pale shade on the brow bone. Not a super shimmery shade, but just more of a pale shade to kind of lift the eye. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of the matte pink and just kind of put it in the inner part right here. If you always remember that your eye shape, your eye color, if you're kind of like starting out with makeup, always kind of remember that you want the inner corners of your eyes to be the lightest and then to go out to the darkest. So if you're kind of looking at a palette and you're like, where do I put dark colors? You're always going to want the dark colors obviously to be on the, not obviously, but you're going to want the dark colors to be on the edge of your eye or at the liner, rather than you're not going to want to put any like dark colors in the crease in here or anything, because that's really going to obviously not open the eye. So always think lighter in the inside and then moving out to darker on the outside. If you do a smoky eye all over, that's fine. But always when you're looking at kind of lighter shades in your palette, you always kind of want to keep them towards the inner corners of the eye. And then this is just, I'm using this little like bone color here. And I'm just going to put that right on the brow bone. It is a little shimmery, more shimmery than I like, but I wanted to give you the effect of, actually it's not that bad. If you use a nice fluffy brush, it can really give like a nice subtle effect. Really pretty. And I just go back and forth between those crease shades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep blending, and I'll be right back, and I will finish mascara and we'll move on to cheeks. Okay, the eyes are finished. I did my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, which I am still loving. I don't think I'll switch for any time soon. I really am just loving this mascara. And I went back to, let me just pull off the little ends here. My mascara tends to smudge in the corners. I am back on my New Lash serum. And many of you have remarked to me, like, your lashes are looking thick and bold and luscious. And I am back on that serum. And I really do notice a difference when I'm using it. So I finished off with the eyes. I just kept doing what I was doing with the two kind of more matte shades right here. I just kind of would dip my brush into both of those, back and forth in the crease. I used that penny color right here, the shimmery penny color, and then just this color, this kind of bone color that has some shimmer to it on the upper brow bone there, just to give a little bit of highlight. Then I'm also going to take this face powder here and just going to lightly dust down, I don't know, just to kind of, I like it because it kind of almost like blurs imperfections. So I've been liking it just kind of down the center of my forehead and my nose and like just down the center of my face, because I'm actually going to use a cream blush and highlighter. So I don't want to have any powder on my cheeks first before I apply that. I like cream products to adhere to cream products. So I have a cream foundation on, so I like cream blushes and stuff to go onto my cream foundation. Sometimes if the powder is lightweight enough, I'll apply like a cream cheek color or highlighter on top of, you know, if there's light powder on my skin. But sometimes if you ever find that you've already powdered your skin and you go on to put a cream product and it just doesn't blend the way you want to, sometimes that powder can kind of almost, I don't know, stick to the cream products and not let them blend as beautifully as you'd want to. Okay, so I'm using the Laura Mercier, the Boho Cheek Crayon that came with her spring collection. Oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful, beautiful cheek color. And I just kind of apply it to the cheeks, like, you know, to the apples of the cheeks, and then just kind of blend back. It has a slight shimmer to it. It is very, very creamy, and it's sheer, but with a lot of pigmentation. That's the only way to describe it. Because you can see your skin through it, and it seems sheer, but when you apply it, it definitely has a lot of pigmentation. So, and it has some shimmer to it. So that's kind of why I did a little bit more matte on the rest of my skin. But it is absolutely beautiful. It's a little more emollient than, let's say, the Hourglass sticks, these like highlighting sticks that I talked about. They're a little more emollient. This is a little bit more dry. And they're maybe still a little more emollient than the Fenty Beauty Match Sticks, because I really like her cheek color that I have in Yacht Life. So these are a little bit creamier, a little bit smoother, and they really, I mean, when you put these on your hand and you go to swatch these, they're just easily just like move around. And this color is just the most beautiful, beautiful sheer pink wash. And I don't know, it's just a great color moving into spring and summer. I can see this color being used well into summer to kind of, because it kind of gives like a sun-kissed glow to the cheeks. Okay, moving on to adding a little bit of a highlight. I'm using the Hourglass stick in Champagne Flash. Is that what it is? Yeah, Champagne Flash, which I really like this color. Now this is a pretty intense, you know, coupled with the cheek color that I'm already using, it is quite, you know, it'll give you definitely a bold highlight. I don't find, does it show texture? It shows a little bit of texture on the skin. I mean, I don't think it's really going to show too much, but I would use just a small amount because it really will give you a bold, bold highlight. And on top of the kind of already little bit of shimmer that the cheeks have. And if you find that, you know, you put on something like this and you feel like it's just a little too much, or you added too much color or whatnot, take your beauty blender that has a little bit of whatever excess foundation is left on and just kind of, you know, stipple over your cheeks just to kind of tone it down a little bit. I'm actually going to take a little bit of this powder that I was using in the palette here and just kind of tone down, just dust it lightly over my cheeks. You can still see the shimmer through this, but it just tones it down just ever so slightly. And then the lip color that I have really been loving is the Stila, the sheer Patina. Stila liquid lipsticks are absolutely beautiful, but they're so full coverage that sometimes you're like, I don't need that much like coverage on my lips. And they can be very drying. They last all day and they do not move, but I like her more sheer formula. And this is the sheer Patina. I could also see this look done with like more of a golden peachy lip, but I have been liking the kind of contrast. This lip is still very nude, but it's a little more pinky, like a pinky mauve, like a pinky purple nude, rather than more peachy, which is what I normally wear. I like the contrast of the more kind of goldish, coppery, warm eyes and warm cheeks with the color on the lips that are a little bit cooler. I think sometimes that's nice. But I do like to add a little bit of a gloss on top, so I've been loving this one from Buxom. This color is called Rebecca, and it's almost like a sheer gold color with like little sparkles in it. You could use any kind of sheer gloss just to kind of add a little bit. You know what? I'm going to add a little more cheek color because that's what I love. I would prefer to keep adding more color onto my face rather than trying to have a product that you put onto your face and you've added too much and you spend the rest of your time trying to sheer out the makeup that you put on your face and you're trying to like take it down. So I always love a product like this that goes on super sheer and then you decide, I want a little bit more. And so you add just a little bit more and you can just keep kind of building it up. I'm going to take a little bit of my foundation and just kind of go around my nose area to kind of take down any redness. Okay, so that is the finished look. Definitely the cheeks look, this cheek color, it's limited edition, which even makes me like sad to even like talk about because I feel like this is the kind of color that you could fall in love with, this cheek stick. Because like I said, it's like this warm, goldeny, kind of peachy color that would probably be great for year round. And the Hourglass highlighting stick, which I've talked about before and I absolutely love it. Champagne Flash is probably my favorite because it's a little more beige than it is gold. And then this Laura Mercier Editorial Eye Palette is absolutely beautiful. I love this kind of coppery penny color. And this kind of finishing powder has kind of came up as like a sneak attack as the winner for the palette. Like I kind of looked at this and I was like, oh, whatever, like a face powder that I'm not going to use. And then each day I keep like dabbing my brush into it, just kind of dusting it over my skin because it kind of blurs imperfections. But if you look at it in person, it has like a glittery finish, but it doesn't show up on the skin. I don't know, absolutely beautiful. Laura Mercier does some really great neutrals and the formulation of a lot of her powders is beautiful. And the Stila Sheer Patina, absolutely love that. I'll link everything that I use down below. And stay tuned for some new spring beauty launches. I'll be doing a get ready with me video with some new additional spring launches that just arrived at my house the other day. So that should be coming out in the next week. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.